A mother's fury, the day a neighbor's cruelty shattered our peace. I never thought I'd see the day when a grown woman's cruelty would push my daughter to collapse, her heart broken as she watched her beloved therapy dog suffer. That day, I learned a mother's love can ignite into rage in an instant. This is the story of how one hateful neighbor tore apart our quiet life in a small American town, but couldn't break the bond between my daughter and her doger, the strength of our community. My name is Ellen, and this is the worst day of my life. My daughter, Lily, was 9 years old, born with a developmental condition that set her apart from other kids. Her mind worked at its own pace, turning simple tasks like tying shoes or reading a sentence into towering challenges. But Lily had a heart so pure it could brighten the gloomiest day. She saw beauty in everything, from a dandelion in the grass to a stranger's smile. Her greatest joy, though, was her golden retriever, Max, a rescue dog we brought home 4 years ago. Max wasn't just a pet, was Lily's anchor, her confidant, her safe haven. When the world overwhelmed her, she'd press her face into his soft fur, and he'd stay still, as if he knew she needed him to make sense of it all. We lived in Willow Creek, a suburban neighborhood in Ohio with neat lawns and friendly faces. It was the kind of place where kids rode bikes until dusk and neighbors waved from their porches. Most folks adored Lily and Max, patiently listening to her halting stories or tossing Max's ball when he bounded over. But then, Cynthia Brooks moved in down the street. Cynthia was a force of nature, tall, impeccably dressed, with a glare that could cut glass. She drove a sleek SUV and carried herself like she owned the block. Within weeks, she'd maneuvered her way into becoming president of our homeowners association, and that's when the trouble started. Cynthia loved control. She issued rules about everything: mailbox colors, hedge heights, even how long you could leave a sprinkler running. But her real obsession was pets, dogs, in particular. They're a nuisance, she'd snap at HOA meetings, her voice sharp enough to make you flinch. Barking, shedding, digging up lawsuits, driving down property values. I kept my distance, sensing her disdain whenever Max trotted by. Every morning, as Lily and I walked him, I'd catch Cynthia staring from her window, her lips pursed like she'd tasted something sour. The storm broke on a crisp October morning. Lily had been struggling at school. Her teacher said she was falling behind in math, and a few classmates had teased her about her slow speech. But when she came home, Max was there, tail wagging, ready to chase away her sadness. "Mom, can we take Max to the park?" she asked, her words careful and deliberate. The park was a short walk away, a wide field where Max could run free. I packed a bag with water and his favorite squeaky toy, and we set off, Lily gripping Max's leash with both hands, her face serious with pride. We were passing Cynthia's house when her front door slammed open. She stormed out, her face flushed with anger, pointing at us like we'd robbed her. "Stop right there," she shouted. Lily flinched, stepping closer to me, her small hand tightening on the leash. Max sensed her fear and moved in front of her, his ears alert. "What's wrong, Mrs. Brooks?" I asked, keeping my tone steady for Lily's sake. "That dog of yours defecated on my lawn yesterday," Cynthia shrieked. "I saw it. This is outrageous." My stomach dropped. I always carried waste bags and cleaned up after Max, but mistakes happen. "I'm sorry if we missed something," I said. "I'll make sure it doesn't happen again." Cynthia's eyes blazed. "Missed something? You let that beast ruin my property. I've spent thousands on this lawn." Lily was trembling now, tears welling in her eyes. Loud voices terrified her. She didn't understand why this woman was so angry. "Please, lower your voice," I said firmly. "You're scaring my daughter." For a split second, Cynthia's expression softened, but then it hardened again. "Your daughter needs to learn responsibility, and so do you," she spat. What happened next felt like a nightmare. Cynthia lunged forward, grabbing Max's leash and yanking it from Lily's hands. "No," Lily cried, clutching the leash tighter. "Max is mine." But Cynthia was stronger. She jerked the leash, pulling Lily forward until she stumbled. Max barked once, a confused, frightened sound. "See," Cynthia yelled. "Aggressive. This dog is a menace." Then she raised her heavy designer handbag and swung it down on Max's head. The thud was sickening, echoing in the still morning air. Max yelped, his body jerking from the blow. "Stop," I screamed, stepping forward, But Cynthia wasn't done. Her face twisted with rage and something uglier. Almost gleeful, she swung again, harder, hitting Max's back. He cried out, a sound of pure pain that pierced my heart. Lily was screaming now, her voice high and desperate. Max! Max, no! She tried to run to him, but I grabbed her, terrified of what Cynthia might do next. Max whimpered, collapsing onto the sidewalk, blood trickling from his nose. Cynthia raised her bag again, and this time, the blow struck Max's face. I heard a crack. His nose, maybe in red, stained his golden fur. Please stop, I begged, my voice breaking. He's just a dog. But Cynthia was lost in her fury. She kicked Max in the ribs, and he fell to his side, his breathing shallow. Lily's screams stopped abruptly. Her body stiffened in my arms, and when I looked down, her eyes had rolled back. Lily, I cried as she went limp, fainting from the horror of watching her best friend suffer. I caught her just before she hit the ground, cradling her while Max lay bleeding nearby. Look what you've done, I shouted at Cynthia, my voice raw. Her face paled, and she stepped back, the bloodied handbag still in her grip. "Tu didn't mean," she stammered, but I wasn't listening. I checked Lily's pulse steady. Thank God, and laid her gently on the grass. Max, despite his pain, dragged himself toward Lily, whimpering, wanting to be near her. Cynthia raised her bag again. "Stay away," she yelled. Something snapped inside me. I stood, placing myself between her and my family. "If you touch my daughter or her dog again," I said, my voice low and shaking with rage, "I'll make sure you regret it for the rest of your life." Cynthia froze, fear flickering in her eyes. Neighbors were emerging now, drawn by the commotion. Mrs. Larson from next door ran over with a towel for Lily's face. Mr. Thompson, who lived across the street, knelt beside Max, checking his injuries. "I'm calling the police," Mrs. Chin declared, her phone already out. "And animal control. This is disgusting." Lily stirred, her eyes fluttering open. "Max," she whispered, reaching for him. He lifted his head, his tail giving a weak wag. "He's here, sweetheart," I said, helping her sit up. "He's hurt, but he'll be okay." Tears streamed down her face as she touched his fur. "Why did she hurt him, Mom?" "Max is good." I had no answer. How do you explain cruelty to a child who only knows love? The police arrived quickly, followed by paramedics and an animal control officer. Cynthia tried to spin a story about Max being aggressive, but the neighbors' accounts and Mr. Thompson's security footage told the truth. Max had a broken nose and cracked ribs, but would survive. Lily was physically fine, but I feared the emotional scars this would leave. The news spread fast. By evening, our doorbell rang with neighbors bringing casseroles, flowers, and support. The local news picked up the story. HOA president attacks disabled girl's therapy dog. People were outraged. Lily didn't understand the attention. She just wanted to be with Max, who lay on a blanket in our living room, his face swollen and bandaged. That night, as I tucked Lily into bed, she asked, "Why are some people mean, Mom?" I struggled for words. "Some people get angry and do bad things," I said. "But Max didn't do anything wrong," she replied, her voice small. "He's the best dog." "He is," I agreed, kissing her forehead. "And everyone knows that now." The weeks that followed were chaotic. Cynthia was arrested, charged with animal cruelty and child endangerment. The HOA voted her out, replacing her with Mrs. Larson, who prioritized community over control. Lily and Max began to heal, though both were changed. Max was warier, sticking close to us on walks. Lily grew anxious, asking if the mean lady would come back. The trial was grueling. Cynthia's lawyers claimed self-defense, but the evidence was undeniable. I testified, reliving that awful day, while Cynthia sat stone-faced. Lily was spared from testifying. Her psychologist's video statement was enough. The courtroom was silent as her innocent voice described Max's pain. Cynthia was convicted. 6 months in jail, 2 years probation, and ordered to pay Max's medical bills and Lily's therapy costs. She was banned from owning pets and contacting us. But justice didn't erase the pain. I wished I could undo that day, take a different route to the park. Lily's therapist said her trauma would linger. Children with special needs often process pain longer. Yet Lily's spirit remained strong. She started a school club, Max's Pals, teaching kids about kindness to animals and people who are different. She'd stand before her classmates, no longer hiding, and share Max's story. Max healed physically, but his cautious nature stayed. He still slept by Lily's bed, his love for her unwavering. The neighborhood changed, too. Mrs. Larson organized block parties and a community garden where Lily learned to plant flowers. A bench was dedicated in the park to victims of animal cruelty, inscribed with words Lily chose, "For all who suffer and those who help them heal." 3 years later, Lily, now 12, was thriving despite her challenges. She volunteered at the local animal shelter, reading to nervous dogs and cats. Her gentle voice calmed them, and the staff called her a natural. One day, a new volunteer arrived, Margaret, Cynthia's sister. She'd seen Lily's story on the news and wanted to make amends for her sister's actions. "I can't undo what happened," she told me, tears in her eyes. "But I want to help." Lily overheard and studied Margaret. "You look sad," she said. "Are you okay?" Margaret knelt down. "I'm sad because my sister hurt you and Max." "I'm so sorry." Lily thought for a moment, then smiled. "It's okay. You're helping animals now." "That's good." Margaret broke down, overwhelmed by Lily's forgiveness. They became partners at the shelter, working side by side to comfort scared animals. For her 12th birthday, Lily wanted no party, just a fundraiser for the shelter. She called it Max's Friends Day, designing flyers with drawings of dogs and the words, "Give animals a home." The event drew hundreds. Lily spoke to the crowd, her voice steady. "Someone hurt Max because they thought he was bad. But he's the best dog. Every animal deserves love." The crowd cheered, and the fundraiser raised $20,000, finding homes for 22 animals. As we sat on the memorial bench that evening, Lily leaned against me, Max's head in her lap. "This was my best birthday," she said. "I think Dad would be proud." Her father, gone since she was 5, had taught her that love is an action. "He would," I said. "You're showing the world what love looks like." Cynthia served 4 months before violating probation with harassing messages, blaming Lily and Max for her downfall. Her rants on social media, "That child isn't normal," and "That dog was dangerous," sparked outrage. Her employer fired her, and her family disowned her. I felt no joy in her ruin, only pity for someone consumed by hate. Lily's wisdom grew beyond her years. "She must be lonely," she said of Cynthia. "Mean people are sad inside." Her compassion stunned May. A child who'd faced cruelty chose forgiveness, not to excuse, but to free herself. Max, too, became a healer, comforting shelter animals with his quiet strength. His scars gave him a gift to help others overcome theirs. Our story reached far beyond Willow Creek. Letters poured in from strangers, a mother whose autistic son faced bullying, a veteran whose service dog was attacked. Lily's courage inspired them to fight back. She didn't grasp her impact, but I saw it. A girl who turned pain into purpose. Today, Lily is 14, still facing challenges, but growing stronger. She dreams of opening her own animal shelter one day. Max, grayer and slower, remains her guardian, sleeping by her side each night. Our neighborhood is closer than ever, a place where kindness outweighs cruelty. That terrible day taught us hard lessons. I learned a mother's love can be fierce, a shield against the world. Lily learned that cruelty exists, but kindness is stronger. Max learned that even after pain, love endures. Our community learned to protect its own, proving that good people outnumber the bad. What happened to us was a wound, but it didn't define us. It made us stronger, showing us that love, active, resilient, unwavering, always wins. It's not an easy victory, but it's certain. Lily keeps Max's bloodstained collar in a box with letters from those we've helped, a reminder that even in darkness, light prevails. What do you think about the cruelty and injustice in this story? Have you faced or witnessed something similar? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your perspective on how we confront hate and build a kinder world. Let's start a conversation.